Hi BookTube, it's Amy. We're back again with the Anatomy of Bibliomania by Holbrook Jackson on page 134 today, with a section titled A Digression of Dummy Books. To assume a virtue if you have it not is a maxim with some, and there are others who conjure the outward bearing and aspect of books with counterfeit presentiment on shelves that are not shelves, but the fancy panels of doors, and the like, as that upper shelf in a lady's library described by Addison. Quoting from Addison's The Spectator, or rather not quoting, referencing from Addison's Spectator, which was stuffed with counterfeit books carved in wood, serving only to fill up like faggots in the muster of a regiment. I have known in my time such panels of deception, one in Piccadilly Mansion nigh to Aspley House, and another more vastly pretentious in the Royal Automobile Club, a third in the gallery of the British Museum Reading Room. How many country mansions are so decorated with dummy books, I know not, but that there were many at one time cannot be gainsaid. For the 6th Duke of Devonshire, desiring to construct a door of sham books for the entrance of a library staircase at Chatsworth, invites the help of Tom Hood in the matter of inscriptions for these unreal folios, quartos, and 12 MOS. Not sure what the MOS stands for in this case, and we do not have a footnote, because his own inventiveness in so delicate an engagement had failed. And he was tired of the plain dealings, essays on wood, and perpetual motion on such doors. On one he had seen the names of Don Quixote's library, and other impossibilities, as Virgilii Odaria, Herodoti Pomata, Byron's sermons, etc. From Hood he ventured to hope for more attractive titles, quoting there from Memorials of Thomas Hood, published in 1860. And he received them from him, says Percy Fitzgerald, such titles as Malthus's Attack on Infantry, Lamb's Reflections on Suet, John Knox on Death's Door, Boyle on Steam, on Sore Throat and the Migration of the Swallow, Johnson's Contradictory, cursory remarks on swearing, the Scottish Boccaccio by D. Cameron, and many more in this punning strain. Fitzgerald gives examples of simulacra in the same manner, covering a door in Sir Thomas Ackland's library, where the dummy books bore such titles as Friend's Right of Entrance, Trap on Fictitious Entries, and more wittily, near the hinges, Squeak on Openings, Bang on Shutting, and Hinges Orations. In the Sheraton Room at Marlborough House, there is or was a dummy library with such titles as Lever on Lifts, An Actor on Falling Stars, The Newcomers, Superficial Knowledge, Tiresome Tomes, 9 Tales by a Cat, Constable's Notes on Motoring, Locks and Quays of England, The Mail Coach, Bleak Houses, and The Story of the Greek Calids. On a door in the Army and Navy Club Library in Pall Mall are or were to be found quips on the same spirit as The Rape of the Lock, The Art of Turning by Handel, Le Livre Fermé, and Treatise sur les sorties improuvres. Charles Dickens had a collection of sham books at Gad Hill, for which John Forster devised such titles as The Corn Question by John Bunyan, Dr. Kitchener's Life of Captain Cook, Mr. J. Horner on Poets' Corner, Savage on Civilization, and so on. Aldous Huxley gives an account of the dummy library at Crum, in Crum Yellow on pages 146 to 7, apparently, says the footnote. In the middle of one of the walls of the library was a door ingeniously upholstered with rows of dummy books, concealing a cupboard where rested among a pile of letter files and old newspapers, the mummy case of an Egyptian lady brought back by the second Sir Fernando on his return from the Grand Tour. From a distance, the books looked genuine and bore ingenious titles, as Capramulge's Dictionary of the Finnish Language, a biographical dictionary in parts, Biography of Men Who Were Born Great, Biography of Men Who Achieved Greatness, Biography of Men Who Had Greatness Thrust Upon Them, and Biography of Men Who Were Never Great at All. Then there were Thom's Works and Wanderings in 10 volumes, Wild Goose Chase, a novel in 6 volumes, and 7 volumes of the tales of Knockspotch. Many a briefless barrister has used dummy books to give an air of established propensity to his chambers, and so too doctors of medicine have garnished their consulting rooms. Maurice Hewlett dreamed once of a fair library of tall tomes, but was awakened from his pleasant adventure when he took down a volume as big and hefty as Little and Scott, and found it only a box to hold papers with nothing in it but a wire clip. Others use them as boxes for pamphlets, as camouflage for chessboards, which can be conveniently folded and stowed away on shelves. But what shall we say of these ghouls, chiefly in France, who scour the auction rooms, the bookseller shops and stalls for choice and ancient bindings, which they turn into boxes by gluing the pages together, cutting out the type area, and so translating books into receptacles for cigarettes, cigars, liqueurs, jewels, chocolates, bonbons, or notepaper? And what of those who encourage this ghoulish trade? They are no better than body snatchers, desecrators of the temple, vain, tawdry, callous, whether sellers of such monuments of destruction or buyers of them, biblioclasts and dolts to boot, necrophiles of a sort. Beside them the naifs who use dummy books are princes of intelligence, nay, bibliophiles of the blood, though dizzards, for they would fox their fellows, if that be their aim, by making boxes to look like books, rather than books like boxes, as in that singular library at Warrenstein, near Kassel in Germany, where the books are boxes made of wood, as he records, each specimen from a different tree with its bark for the spine. The outsides are polished examples of the timber, and the insides contain specimens of the tree's fruit, seeds, leaves, the moss which grows upon its trunk, and insects which feed upon it. But I rage and roam. Let us to our theme. And that is the end of the digression of dummy books, with our next section being their use as tools, etc. But we'll end it there for today.